Hi everybody, it's Crafting Just Because with Chris Cowan, and today we're playing with the Senior Year's stamp set. Now I know it's not a Christmas project, you can change it up to be a Christmas project, but I just wanted to play with something different. So we are going to create this cute little gift box. It opens on each end like this. Okay, and the design was originally from Paper Pixie. I just switched it up with different design, different papers, and using this set. We're also going to be using the nested stitch dies. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I also played with a different color combo. We're playing with Coastal Cabana, Balmy Blue, and Calypso Coral. So let's go ahead and get started. You first want to bring in your paper trimmer. And before I start, I should say this. If this is your first time watching me, don't worry about trying to write down all the directions very quickly. I go ahead and I provide you with all the directions and dimensions on my blog, which is listed below. But we're going to start with a piece of Balmy Blue cardstock, and this piece is cut at 7.5 by 8.5. And on the 7.5 inch side, we want to score it at 1 1/4, 3 1/4, 4 1/2, and 6 1/2. And then we're going to rotate it to that 8.5 inch side, and we want to score it at 3/4 of an inch, 2 inches, 6.5 inches, and 7 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so now we're going to move our paper trimmer. We're going to bring in our bone folder, and we're going to burnish all those score lines. So you're going to fold and then run that bone folder over all those edges there. Gives it a nice crisp, clean area to work with. Also, when you see my directions, I have posted a picture of how this template will look when you cut off certain sections. So that makes it a little easier for you as well. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper snips, and we are going to cut away the following areas, okay? So for the front, we want one long area. So we're going to cut off the 4 edge boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go like this. And then cut on this score line. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on that other side. Okay, so that's our front flap. Now I'm going to rotate it around, and I'm going to cut off. I'm just trying to see here. These first little tabs, and I'm going to do that on either side. Okay, so we're leaving that middle section. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, so let's get rid of all those pieces. This is what you're left with. Now what you want to do is you're going to bring in a ruler and your bone folder, and on these corner boxes, you're going to score a diagonal line from corner to corner. I'm just going to, like that. that. And the last one like that. Okay. And then what you're going to do is using your finger, you're going to just kind of make sure that it creases nicely in. Okay. So it does. Now what you're going to do is you're going to bring in your corner rounder, and excuse me for not using the correct corner rounder here. I forgot to grab my Stampin' Up! One and just had this one sitting where I film my videos. So you're going to round those corners. Round that corner, and then we want to round our front tab. Just like that. So this is what you're left with. Okay. Now we're going to add our designer series paper. And I just went ahead and cut some of our, some of the balmy blue designer series paper. And we have two, let's see here. Got to get all my pieces ready for you. We have two that are, let's start the big one. 1 7/8 by 4 3/8. I have one piece that's cut at 1 1/8 by 4 3/8. And I have two pieces that are cut at 1 1/8 by 1 7/8. And then I have two pieces that are cut, or one piece that is cut 7 1/8 by 4 3/8. So those are all of our pieces. And then what we'll have left are our stitch dies and then a piece to stamp on. So let's bring in, it looks like I need to round the corners on this piece. And then we'll adhere all that down before we put this box together. And you can use any adhesive you like. It's just to put the designer series paper down. Whoops, dang it. That flat piece, it looks like I should have cut it a tiny bit bigger. Oh, it's because I got those two pieces mixed up. That's what I did wrong. Oh, well. Okay. I'm going to have to trim that off. That's what I did wrong. Don't do what I did. I layered those pieces on wrong. It's okay. We'll make it look pretty. Nobody will ever know, right? Yeah. Okay. So what I'm just going to do on this one is I'm just going to trim it at the edge. There won't be a little border around it, but nobody will notice because that'll be the edge. They'll be looking at the beautiful top that we created. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take some Calypso coral ribbon. And before we put that box together, I'm just going to tie a piece across the flap, just like this. And I'm going to put my bow so it's in this right-hand corner. Okay. Tie that into a bow, or a knot, I mean. Make sure it's flat, okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim the edge. And I'll trim the other edge once I get it all put together. But for now, that's what it's going to look like. So we're going to go ahead and form our box. We're going to push in those two sides like this. Okay. And then, come on. There we go. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to stamp happy birthday using Calypso Coral, or Coastal Cabana, sorry. You know what? It's not Coastal Cabana, it's Bermuda Bay. My bad. I thought it seemed light. Okay. So then I'm going to stamp just like that in the corner. And then we're going to bring in our Memento ink pad and we're going to stamp our little lady here. Onto our other piece of scrap here. Oh, it looks like my Memento ink pad might need to get a refill. Does not surprise me. I use it all the time. Okay. For her hair, we are going to use cinnamon cider. And so I'm going to start with my dark blend. And I'm just going to kind of go around where all these little curlies are. And you don't have to be exact. And probably around her glasses. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with the light and just blend that all together and get that all colored in. I love this cinnamon cider color. We needed this color in our color combo, so good job stamping up. Okay, then we're going to color her ivory or any skin tone color you want. We're going to have to do a tiny bit of fussy cutting her out, but it's nothing to worry about. Now we're going to use some petal pink, and I'm just going to kind of put a little bit right where her cheeks would be. Okay. I'm going to color in her skirt balmy blue, so I'm going to again start with that darker color and kind of do where her wrinkles on her dress or skirt would be. And kind of outline it out. And then I'm going to just color that in with the light. And then I'm also going to brim her glasses there. And I'm going to add a tiny bit down here. Okay. Then I'm going to come in with that Calypso Coral. Oh, whoops. I forgot one thing. I want to do her little necklace in the dark balmy blue. Okay. Now we're coming in with that dark Calypso Coral. And I'm just kind of outlining. Okay. And then I'm also going to do her shoes Calypso Coral. Okay. Okay, so now that we have her all colored out, I'm going to use my Wink of Stella and just kind of color her all in. I'm going to then fussy cut her. And when the trick to fussy cutting, I love to fussy cut. Some people don't, and that's why the dies work perfect for a lot of people. But the trick to this is to move the paper, not so much your scissors, around the object that you're cutting. It'll give you a straighter and more, like if you're leaving a border like how I am, it leaves more of an even border around her, because you have control over your paper more so than your scissors. And like I said, you don't have to be perfect. And see, that didn't take very long. Okay, so now we're going to layer our 2 layers here together. Right on top of each other. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue that onto the box just like so. Okay, then I'm going to add some dimensionals behind our lady here. And then, last but not least, we want some bling. She needs some rhinestones on her. Let me find my clear. Is that my only package of clear here? Looks like it. Okay. So let me open up a new pack of dimensionals. Adhesive. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm going to open up a new pack of rhinestones. And I'm going to take the small ones. And I'm just going to add one there in the corner. And then one in each of her ears for her earrings. So just like that. And that's our box for today, you guys. Super simple, super easy. I think it's a totally cute box. It will hold, if you just want to put candies in it, it'll hold some jewelry, but the sky's the limit. And look, super easy, right? So I thank you guys for watching me today. If it's your first time watching me, thank you. And if you like what you saw, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, and it'll notify you of any future videos that I make. And until next time, you guys, I will see you later. Bye-bye.